Good morning, Mommy. Usually I make videos for Nick and Denise when I'm feeling anxious before work, but I'm mad at Nick right now. I'm not mad at Denise, but she's his fiance and casualties of war. I'm dressed like a 50s housewife today, which I don't normally do because I get really weird sort of molestery type comments from people, but I have no male clients today for once. Pretty excited about that. And I get to see Scarlett, so I'm very happy about that, and I might get to go ride horses with her later this week. But anyway, I know that you have been expressing interest in sort of Henry VIII / Thomas More / Anne Boleyn / that entire time period. I'm not sure which you're like most interested in, so I figured I would just start at the beginning, but the beginning begins before Henry VIII. So I guess we can start with why he was such garbage as a king. He was never meant to be a king. His dad wasn't even a king to begin with. Well, by the time Henry VIII came around, his dad was a king, but before that he was just like kind of some guy. And there were the Wars of the Roses, which was like the houses of York, Lancashire, and I guess Tudor, sort of. And so, and Plantagenets. So there's like these Plantagenets that already kind of have the throne. Richard III, his brother was the Duke of York, but he was a Plantagenet, and he had his brother died, and he had his brother's children considered illegitimate, and then he like locked them up in a tower, and that's how they became the Princes in the Tower, which is like one of me and Nick's favorite historical mysteries, kind of up there with like the Lost Colony and whatever. But it's kind of like common knowledge Richard III probably murdered his two nephews just to get him out of the way. But then he was the last of the Plantagenets, and he's like, I'm gonna marry somebody and make more, and then we're gonna have the throne forever. And obviously it did not work out for him. So then like all these different people are like supporting the different houses, and they're all trying to get the crown and everything, and all of a sudden this guy Henry Tudor, who I think was maybe like the son of an earl, or maybe he was an earl, I don't know, whatever, he shows up and just like kills him, and he's like, mine now. And so he starts the House of Tudor, and so he's like, there's a lot more supporters for these Yorks, and we're just gonna just fucking wipe out these Lancashires altogether, useless human beings. So he's like, I'm gonna marry a York, and then we're gonna make babies, and we'll just own everything. It's gonna work out great. So he did. He just took the throne. He was like, I'm King Henry. Peace. And then he marries, I think, Elizabeth of York. I don't know. He marries a York, whatever. And they have babies. And their firstborn is a son. So they're like, yes, this is it. This is what I am talking about. This is the Tudor dynasty. You know, we've got like, the House of York was like a white rose. And the House of, I think, Lancashire was maybe a red rose, and he like mixes everything together. And then the Tudor rose is now red and white, and I wore black rose earrings today because I'm the house of me, bitch. Anyway, so he has a son, and he has like a daughter, then he has another son, which was what we now know as King Henry VIII. So King Henry VIII was never supposed to be a king. He was like the younger brother, the whole heir and a spare thing. He was the spare. And so he was not raised to be a king. He wasn't raised with any amount of knowledge on how to rule or any of those things. And so Arthur, his older brother, by the time he's like maybe 3 or 4, his dad's already like, okay, I've got this dynasty thing down. Like, we're in it. We are in it. But we need to keep it going. So he's like, you know what, Spain, we need to mess with Spain because they know what they're doing. So he like makes buddies with these like really fancy schmancy Catholic rulers of Spain, and he's like, look, you got a daughter, I got a son, you know, it's easy math. Stick them together. It's totally fine. Everything's regular. They're like, yeah, all right. That's cool. But you're Catholic, right? And he's like, oh yeah, for sure. We're totally Catholic. So they raise their daughter, basically groom her to be a wife and a queen. Like she's got like a pedigree. Like they have completely, entirely raised her to be the wife of Arthur, to be a queen. So she gets there. She's like, I don't know, like a young teenager, like 13. I'm 13, maybe. I'm guessing. I don't know. The details get fuzzy after a while. It's been a while since I was obsessed with this. It was like high school. So anyway, her name is Catherine of Aragon, and she's got sort of reddish hair. I don't remember what color her eyes were. Maybe green? I don't know. Anyway, she's a red-haired Spaniard princess, and she's very graceful and all this stuff, and she marries Arthur, but like he gets on the throne, and like 6 months later he dies, and his dad's like, shit, that was all of my plans, just all of my plans. So he's like, okay, look. So he writes to her parents, and he's like, I could send her back. She's not defective. You can have her back if you really want her, but we could still make this work. I got another son. We could just stick them together, because same deal, right? Like, you just stick them together, it's totally fine. And they're like, yeah, cool, but you're still Catholic. He's like, oh, so Catholic. Hail Mary. And so her parents are like, yeah, fine, you can marry the other one. So Henry VIII marries his brother's widow, who was most likely a virgin. I really doubt that they, you know, stuck it together. I think Arthur was like 12 or something when they got married. So, you know, whatever. Anyway, so Henry VIII, his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, she was an awesome lady, but I'm at work now, so I can continue this story later, or if you're more interested in just Anne Boleyn, or if you're more interested in Thomas More, who I have a big fixation with because I don't like him. But anyway, just let me know. I love you. Have a good day. Bye.